tropical storm warning is in effect. Currently in our area, 92 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, showers and scattered thunderstorms. Humid, low 75. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tomorrow morning on America's Morning Headquarters, we're tracking Arthur. Our AMHQ experts are live all across the region tomorrow morning only on your Weather Channel.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
Multifaceted Hurricane Arthur heading near North Carolina, spawning tornadoes. A tornado warning is in effect for Bladen and Pender counties. Residents of Atkinson and Longview, take cover. Those storms are moving at you from the east. Everything moving east to west. Washington, D.C. getting hit on the west side. Also up in Montgomery County. Here comes the rain into Washington, a very warm, humid air mass. And now we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for Arlington, Fairfax, and Montgomery counties. Heads up out there on Wisconsin Avenue, Connecticut Avenue here, moving across the north side. You won't be able to see the Capitol in about 5 minutes. That rain is going to be coming down hard. So severe weather along the East Coast due to a hurricane and a cold front. Thanks for staying with us for special coverage of Hurricane Arthur, my friend. I'm Dave Schwartz. Alex Wilson will join us here in just a minute. Now, here are the latest headlines as Hurricane Arthur nears the coast. Surf City, North Carolina officials are telling people to stay out of the ocean due to high rip current risk and dangerous surf. Duke Energy says more than 2,000 customers are without power in the Wilmington area so far. And Hyde County officials have announced a curfew for Ocracoke Island between 8 o'clock tonight and 8 Friday morning. All sales of alcohol in Ocracoke will be banned after 5. Now let's go in depth on Hurricane Arthur with Alex Wilson and hurricane specialist Carl Parker.
Thank you so much, Dave. Yeah, Carl, we are watching stronger and strengthening Hurricane Arthur getting very, very close to North Carolina.
It really is. It's not far at all, and we're now getting reports of winds gusting way up there. 62 miles per hour at Carolina Beach, not far away from Wilmington. And then at a lighthouse that's on a platform about 30 miles south of Southport, we got a report of winds gusting to 82 miles per hour. So they're really getting up there. Let's take a look at the latest on the storm, and we're expecting a new update from the National Hurricane Center coming up here very shortly, probably inside of 30 minutes. As of 2 p.m., a 90 mile per hour storm. But I can tell you that there are very, very strong winds that are being found in this storm. In fact, they dropped a dropsonde into the hurricane. The hurricane hunters are out there flying, and they drop a device down through the hurricane, and that particular device showing winds of 100 miles per hour at that location. So we may very well be looking at a Category 2 storm when we get the next advisory. The movement as of the last advisory, north-northeast, there may be a little more of a northeast component at this point. It certainly is beginning that turn that has been long advertised by the computer forecast models, and right now very likely that it's going to have a significant impact in eastern parts of North Carolina. Conditions really going downhill tonight from Wilmington up to Morehead City and Beaufort, then into the southern part of the Sounds late tonight, into the Outer Banks overnight, and into early tomorrow morning, and most likely it will be a Category 2 hurricane as that happens.
All right, so we've got to talk about the winds that are going to be moving over these areas, and also some of the other effects, including storm surge. People in North Carolina saying, what's this going to bring?
Yeah, you know, and we think that because it is going to be a very strong storm, it's going to bring a surge of about 3 to 5 feet into areas that have an elevation of about 3 to 6 feet. And we're talking about the Outer Banks. That's really significant. That means a lot of coastal overwash. We've seen it many times. We've seen the pictures of Highway 12 being washed over completely in spots. There's the center of the circulation now, not very far away from Cape Fear, just south of Cape Fear. Again, that's where that lighthouse platform is, Frying Pan Light, and that's where we got the report of winds gusting to 82 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the current winds here, now gusting to 36 in Wilmington. Bowie out here on the southwest side still reporting winds gusting to 43, and winds are now picking up at Cape Hatteras as well. Here is the radar picture over the last 6 hours, and you can see how there is a little bit of curvature in that track. So again, it looks like we're seeing a little more of a northeasterly component at this time. And then you've got these very strong winds showing up here in the eye wall. The eye wall is that ring of thunderstorms that surrounds that cloud-free center of the storm. And right in there is where the wind is really tremendous. And in fact, this is a loop of the velocity. So what we're looking at here is the rain as it's coming towards the radar. Where it's coming towards the radar, it shows up as blue. So that's right in here. Where it's going away from the radar, it shows up as red and yellow and orange, and that's right in there. And so the velocities here that are now driving towards the radar in southern parts of North Carolina, now getting up to about 80 and 90 miles per hour, just a few thousand feet above the ground. So that very strong part of the hurricane is now just south of Cape Fear. And again, it looks like it's going to be passing up just to the south, certainly really starting to affect the Carolina coast here over the next couple of hours.
So we're watching areas that don't just include the Outer Banks. We're seeing significant effects into parts of southeastern North Carolina.
Absolutely we are, and we're talking about a very long and windy night there. And then, of course, the storm comes up and into these areas where you've got very low-lying ground here. The Outer Banks generally about 3 to 6 feet, so we see an easterly flow of wind coming in as the storm is approaching, piling up the water on the east side of the Outer Banks, and then as the storm passes, the winds will flip around to the northeast and to the north, and they'll pile up the water on the sound side of the Outer Banks there. So again, could be significant problems as far as overwash in those areas. And beyond that, then we'll see some impacts in the northeast.
Yeah, a lot of those folks saying, okay, well, you know, are my plans going to be affected? Folks maybe heading to the Jersey Shore, some other coastal spots.
Right, and not a direct hit, but we're talking about a very large area of winds here that will affect southeastern Massachusetts. And on top of that, the storm is going to interact with this front, and that's going to mean very heavy rain up and down that 95 corridor. And because we've had a lot of that lately, that's going to mean potentially some flooding in these areas.
Yeah, and we've already seen as a result some postponements or changes to fireworks forecasts.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Carl. We'll be checking in with you more. For now, let's send it back to Dave.
Well, if the eye of this hurricane moves on shore, it'll be the first strike in the U.S. by a hurricane since 2012, and the timing couldn't be worse. Millions are celebrating the holiday weekend, but we'll have to deal with Arthur and its aftermath. Here with an update on the people impacted is Julie Martin. And Julie, you've got a guest.
Yes, I do. You know, there are a couple of sleepaway camps in North Carolina. They're being evacuated ahead of Hurricane Arthur. It's Camp Seagull for boys and Camp Seafarer for girls. They're both sailing camps along the Carolina coast. The kids, by the way, are being moved inland to shelters in Raleigh. So joining me now is Bryson Kaler. He is the father of 3 of those children. Bryson is an executive here at the Weather Channel as well. And what a scary situation for you. When did you find this?
Well, we found out, really this morning that they were actually going to evacuate. I mean, clearly we've been kind of watching it for the last few days, knowing that this was probably the likely outcome. But, this morning was when they made the final decision and said they were putting them on buses after lunch and trucking them out.
I think the scariest part is that you really have not been able to communicate with your children now. And how old are they?
So 10, 9, and 8. Are the 3 kids that are there, and no, we can't communicate at all. So, I mean, that's part of the beauty of camp is to get them unplugged and disconnected and away from technology. But in a case like this, you really wish you could do a quick phone call or a text.
Yeah, just that checking in is very hard, I'm sure, for you right now, and probably for your wife as well.
Absolutely. We want to just tell them everything's going to be fine, and the counselors are going to do a great job, and at the end they're going to look back and it's going to be an amazing story to tell. I mean, how many times can you look back and say, I've been evacuated?
Absolutely. And I noticed at the camp actually ask that you don't go get your kids. They're going to keep them safe until the storm passes.
I'm sure that a lot of frantic moms and dads calling and trying to do stuff is just going to get in the way of them keeping everybody safe.
Well, Bryson, keep us updated. Of course, we're sure they're probably going to be just fine out there, and hopefully for their duration after the storm passes.
A tropical storm warning is in effect. Currently in our area, 91 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, showers and scattered thunderstorms. Humid, low 75. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.